unfiltered opinion about Munchies is that we as a society demonize foods so quickly, right? A cheeseburger is a bad food. Why is it a bad food? It's got protein, carbs, fat. Sure, there's things that are in it that don't contribute to your health, but is it an overall bad food? Within the right circumstance, it could be the greatest option for you that you have available. So when we think about Munchies and those decisions are bad, and it's like, why are we demonizing biological feelings?
And conversely, people are so afraid to just like get full. Like they think that you have to be hungry as some sort of reward for weight loss.
Which, like, sure, when you're in a caloric deficit, yep, you're gonna be hungry. Probably. You could take
Yep.
all of our tips of eating high volume, eating meal timing on point, hydration, sleep, and you may still be hungry. But that
But
doesn't
it all
mean
comes down to strategy. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Overthinking Podcast, the show where we help you dispel all the fitness and nutrition chaos in your brain so you can actually make sense of it. Today's topic is one that I think we can all relate to.
and this episode is for anyone and everyone who's been super disciplined all day, but then it hits you, right? That little voice in the back of your brain that's telling you to scavenge the kitchen for the perfect little treat, or maybe it's the result of a little joyride to the weed pen garden.
We're breaking down what's actually happening in your body, why you suddenly need to eat everything, and how to navigate it without feeling like you blew your goals. But
But
first,
first,
we didn't
we have a
really.
little this or that you prepared for us. Would you rather wake up every morning and miss your alarm and wake up in a panic? That literally happened to me this morning. Or never be able to have coffee in the morning again?
Damn. Both feelings are pretty terrible. I don't think that there is a world that can exist where I don't have coffee. I mean, I guess if maybe I could replace it with matcha, but I think that I would have to wake up every morning missing my alarm just so that I could have coffee.
Yeah. This wasn't easy for me. Easy one. I've given up coffee many times throughout my existence. And
Serious to it.
yeah, I'm totally fine with not having coffee again. I would totally swap for matcha, even like non-caffeine options like dandy tea.
Mm,
Has like a little bit of like that bitterness. Um, yeah, I would be totally fine.
okay. So you're
Is that weird?
choosing I'm never missing my alarm ever again.
Yeah, this morning I woke up and so last night I was like, I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. And I got such a good night's sleep that when I woke up at 5 a.m. to my alarm, I was like, I can totally stay awake for this 5 minute snooze. I don't need to hit snooze.
Oh, damn.
Um, yeah. So anyway, um, I like that we're polarized on that one.
Let's get
Let's
into our topic.
yeah, let's get into it.
So imagine POV, you're high, the snacks are calling your name, and suddenly you're building out the most elaborate snack plate only to leave you with regret in the morning, right? We've all been there, like nightly for both you and I. We've talked
Yeah.
about this. Like, how do we navigate the munchies? Whether it's post smoke, late night stress, or just pure boredom hunger. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to smoking weed.
Right, and actually the most common place I see this more recently is people coming home from work. You know, you had lunch at 12 and then
Mhm.
you haven't eaten and it's now 4, 5, even 6 o'clock, and you're ravenous. You
Yep.
are knuckle deep in the potato chip bag before you even realize it. And so today, we're your shamans. We are gonna guide you through the world of cravings, how to honor them, how to manage them, how to still feel good about your choices in the morning. So, what is your favorite munchy snack lately?
Mm. Lately, I mean, our listeners have probably heard by now, my life motto is sometimes you need a sweet treat every day.
Yeah.
So whether I'm smoking or not, I need a little sweet treat to cap off my day. And my little sweet treat every day right now is the True Fruit. I get the
Mm,
strawberry cover or the chocolate covered strawberries. They're frozen. Costco sells them. All the big grocery stores sell them. Have you had them?
mhm. Yeah, I have.
So
They're so
good.
good. It's the
So
right
good.
amount of fruit to chocolate ratio.
Yes, and the
And the
chocolate is so, like, decadent. It hits the spot. You don't need really, like, too many. You're like, "Okay, I feel content."
yeah, it's not like that super fake plasticky type chocolate, and it's also not so rich where you're kinda over it. I think, anything that has, like, texture, like different textures or temperatures or a crunch,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the experience of biting into a true fruit and, like, the chocolate, like, breaks, and it's like when it comes to food science, that's such a big piece of it is, like, the
Mhm.
experience. I've been really into yogurt bowls at night recently. Typically, I get home at, like, 6, so I already plan to have kind of, like, a smaller meal around that time so I don't go down into the pantry, but then I'm kinda hungry by, like, 7:30 or 8, and I've probably smoked a little weed or, like, wind down for the day. So I'll do a yogurt bowl. I'm doing like the cocoa June yogurt with a
Mm.
little bit of almond milk and protein powder. So
You
I
put
mix it
almond
all.
milk in your yogurt?
Yeah, and so I make it all into like a paste. So actually,
Mm,
what I'll do is I'll put the protein powder in first, so like a
okay,
half scoop. So it's about 15 grams of protein,
okay.
a little bit of almond milk, and I mix it just a little bit. So it's like a paste. It's like a thick paste.
Mhm.
And then I put the yogurt in and I mix it all together. Sometimes I'll
Mm,
do like half and half because the texture is really good with the protein, whatever.
okay.
And then this is where the fun part begins. I put frozen berries, like
Mm,
it's like the tri-berry blend. It's blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. So
okay.
much fiber, so
Yep.
much volume, and they're frozen, so it adds that little bit of like texture, different temp. And then I'll put gluten-free cereal on top. Or like
Yum.
kind of whatever kind of cereal crunch thing sounds good. But by that point, the bowl is like kind of full with all these like high nutrient dense things, and then I add the cereal on top. Where it gets hairy is if I finish everything and then I still want more cereal.
Right. So let's dive into the munchies and how we can strategize how you can stay on top of your goals and also maybe just let yourself have a sweet treat every day.
Yeah, and this one's wild. THC actually interacts with your endocannabinoid system, so basically the body's internal chill network that helps regulate things like mood, sleep, pain, and of course, appetite. So when THC enters the system, it kicks up your hunger hormones like we've talked about in the last episode, ghrelin, and this is the hunger hormone that tells your brain, "Hey, we're hungry." Like that's what's responsible for that signaling. So THC does in fact trigger that hunger hormone a bit.
Yep. So your brain is literally like, you know what I could really go for right now? Everything.
That one thing that you've been craving all day that you've been so strong and putting off. Yeah.
Yep, yep, and the more you restrict it, the more you think about it. So it's
Yep.
not just that you want to eat, it's that food actually tastes and smells better because THC heightens your sensory perception. So those chips or like you said, the crunchy cereal, it just
Mhm.
hits different.
Yeah, and actually I think this does align well with like that kind of coming home from work and being ravenous thing. It's like you've been in the slog of work, right? Your brain is searching for a hit of dopamine. Like it's really searching for that signaling that I'm safe and I'm okay when you walk through the door. But a lot of it too is like you said, the flavor, the crunch, the smell, everything's turned up to 10, whether you're high, whether you've been like feeling down all day, that food is gonna trigger that reward center. It's gonna light up that reward center, and eating feels not just good now, but extra good, like dopamine city.
Yeah, so it's not all in your head. Weed literally makes food more amazing. Every time my husband and I go out to dinner, he literally calls it performance enhancing drugs because, your whole goal when you go out to dinner is enjoy your meal. So we're like, all right, let's smoke a little weed, get a little lit, and then we're going to go in on this meal.
Yeah, and it's kind of in that scenario too, it could also be a perfect storm. That sounds like a dream date night, but it's also could be a perfect storm if you're on a fast track to specific goals that you're trying to
Mhm.
crush. So your senses are heightened, you're more relaxed, your inhibitions are low. It also feels like a holiday, like an event, like, and we always associate, events and special occasions with food and drink, whatever. So your brain is kind of like cheering you on every bite, which is why that kind of like fuck it mindset comes in. So when this happens to you, it's not fake. You're not imagining it. Like, it's truly biological systems working together. It's chemistry helping you make those choices, whether they're choices you want to make or not.
Totally. And knowing that actually takes a lot of the shame out of it. Like, you can't willpower your way out of just how your body works, but you can work with it once you understand what's going on. So, now that we know the why, let's talk about how this actually impacts your goals and what you can do to enjoy the high without derailing your progress. Speaking
Yes.
of, do we need to get a little lit?
Oh, do we
I
need to
thought
smoke a little weed right
I
now?
thought we never asked.
The other thing
There
I
we
think
go.
is important talking about, and we can fit this in or not, is what I said in the beginning, where as a society, we have become increasingly fearful of food and increasingly fearful of food signaling, hunger signaling. And I think that is actually where a lot of this strife that we feel is coming from. It's like, let's not take this so you don't have cravings. Take this so you don't have cravings and want food. But here's the thing, weed itself isn't the thing that's actually ruining your progress. And just like our episode on alcohol, too, this is just one more variable that we have to right size within the landscape of our goals. So it's just one more input to factor, and the following choices can throw it off.
Right. It's the uninhibited DoorDash order or free range snacking that can really make the calories add up. And
Yeah.
as we know, more calories equals more weight gain, and vice versa. And if you're trying to remain in a calorie deficit, it could push you over your targets. So it's not that the one night here and there giving into those cravings will throw you off, but it's the consistent, repeated patterns that can affect your body composition.
And I think the shame spiral is part of that too, right? Say one night or one day you're doing really quote unquote good, and then you have like a big splurge night. The next day you're going to be feeling full. You might feel a little bit bummed out at yourself, maybe a little shame. So then you delay your eating. You might also on this day overtrain. You might train a little more because you're like, man, I really went for it last night. So now you are depleted in glycogen, your blood sugar is tapped, and you've trained hard without a lot of reserves and substrates there. Some, of course, from the night before. But now you're setting yourself up again for another scenario like that. That's one scenario where you really are just working against your biology. At that point, it's not willpower anymore. So if you're starting to notice the munchies are getting out of hand and also like the associated shame spiral that comes with it, or you just notice that you have less ability to say no, it's worth paying attention to. And this guilt trip is just like not worth your time and your mental bandwidth.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get into the part that everyone is here for. What do we actually do about it? How can you enjoy your high, honor the munchies, but still feel aligned to your goals?
Yep. And here are a few strategies that make a huge difference, ones that we use and we coach our clients to use as well, that start even before you smoke. And there's three parts. Kelsey, give them the three parts.
Yeah, so in part one, we'll have the prep. So everything that you're going to do before you even smoke weed, of course. And then part two is going to be your smart snacking. So the snacks that we would, or the tips and tricks we want you to kind of control what you're eating. And then the last is your environment and habits. So going back to the prep, don't smoke on an empty stomach if you
I want to
can.
asterisk one thing really quick. I'm going to interrupt you because not everybody on this podcast smokes weed and navigates like munchies specifically, but I want to also just keep tying it back to those other instances that we find ourselves in this trap. So like coming home from work and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm ravenous," and I go for it. Like all of these will apply to that scenario as well. Same thing with going out to drink. Like even if you're not a weed smoker, but you're a social drinker, these all apply to you. And these are important because we don't want you to get in your own way of having fun and having your best and most fun life
Right?
and hottest body or whatever it
Exactly.
matters to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So back to our first tip, which is don't smoke on an empty stomach if you can. So have a full high volume meal first, or at least one ready to go as soon as you get a little zooted. Something with protein, carbs, and fiber that will make sure that you're hitting your marks and you have a little bulk in your stomach to crowd out some of the like maybe lesser quality choices.
Yeah. And that also would apply in like the work scenario thing. Like, make sure your lunch has these things. Like, make sure that you are eating enough food at lunch, or make sure you have a snack in the afternoon before you get home. The second tip of our preps part is hydrate. One of the more basic things you can do, and honestly, it's one of the more free things you can do for your health. Sometimes thirst manifests as a hunger cue. So often when I'm a little lit and I find out what I really want a yummy snack, I always, always, always have my water bottle filled and next to me when I'm smoking, when I'm drinking. We've said that on our alcohol episode, and when I'm driving home from work. Always having a water bottle in your personal environment also helps with that kind of like hand to mouth, like, habit that we have. Instead of grabbing a snack, you can grab a sip of water.
I've been saving my creatini that I've been calling it, which is the
Oh,
hydration pack and a creatine. I've been saving that for my nighttime little like desire, my little hunger
yum.
cue.
Do you
And then
do
I
it with regular water?
yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Because like, you could do it with bubble water too and make a little mocktail.
Ooh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also other zero-calorie drinks that have, like, a little bit extra to them that's not just water. I always have Element, Ultima, like, electrolytes in my water, but also, your creatine is a great example. Like, if you did a water with a little bit of, like, cranberry juice and bubble water, or a Poppi, or, like, those, Waterloo drinks,
Mhm.
and, like, even a diet soda.
Yep.
It can
Yep.
be a big departure from going from candy every night and cookies and snacks to water. So maybe a Diet Pepsi or a Diet Coke sounds like a better leap for you right now.
And the third of our prep category is planning ahead. So kind of ties into the first one, don't eat on an empty stomach or don't smoke on an empty stomach, but planning ahead, so remembering everything you do is a choice. If you know you get the munchies from being a little lit, keep approved snacks around. These are things that you actually feel good about and are more calorie friendly. So think like skinny pop or your Greek yogurt bowl or frozen grapes and fruit. Like I
Mhm.
said earlier, the true fruit, like things that are reasonable in the calorie department so they won't completely derail your goals.
I love that. And I think, again, planning ahead also comes down to timing of things. Like, are you smoking at 9 p.m. and then now you're going to go have all this food? I mean, sometimes that might be yes. So, planning ahead might also mean, we talked about, again, in the alcohol example, planning your event a little sooner, earlier in the day if you can, because then you won't also mess up your sleep. All right, part 2, smart snacking. So, food environment, and on that note, try to not keep uncontrollable foods around, right? We were talking about keep those higher volume, higher nutrient quality foods in abundance, and then try to just limit those more, Achilles heel type foods.
For example, Oreos are my kryptonite. Like, I cannot have those things around because I will eat the entire box.
What is
So
there wait, is there any specific flavor of Oreo that's like
it doesn't
extra?
matter, any of them.
No?
I will eat all of them.
Even like Trader Joe's JoJo's?
Probably,
Like
yeah.
that cookie cream okay, that's really
Anything
good
that
to
tastes
know.
like an Oreo, I'm about it. So those don't live in my house. They cannot. This is
Mm,
boundaries, friends. Learn it. You don't let your toxic ex stay on your Instagram, so don't let those uncontrollable foods linger either. Okay.
and number 2 of part 2, portion control. Seriously, and this is as much as I don't agree with, like, the food industry of the United States, like, sometimes these little tips and tricks can be helpful. So, like, read the nutrition label. If it says 6 cookies is 1 serving, get a cute little ramekin, a cute little bowl out, and put those 6 cookies in there. Put the bag away, put the bag clip back on, close the cabinet. Don't leave it on the counter. Don't bring it to the couch with you. Don't do it. That is that is sin number 1 for me. Honestly, I can see a box of 3 Wishes cereal on my couch right now.
So what are some of our munchie go-tos? I know we talked about a few.
Yeah. Well, I really do prefer a crunch. I must. And so I'll start with crunchy veggies. I always have pre-cut
Mm,
carrots, celery, cucumber, all of those. I always have them in my house because they're also what I use for like my daily like salads. But I
mhm.
also just have them with like hummus. Um, and other there's so many lower calorie dips out there and that you can even make at home. So I'll start there, but then once, like, it's time to switch it up or I want the thing that I want, then I go to usually gluten-free cereal.
One of the underdog munchie go-tos is pickles.
No, really?
Wait, what do you mean no?
I haven't had pickles in the house for a while. I have pepperoncinis in there. I burned my butthole
Girl,
eating all those.
I need you to go to the store and buy Grillo's pickles. You can
Okay.
get either the spears or the little slices, doesn't matter. And the thing about pickles is it's just a cucumber, so each pickle is like 2 calories.
Right, it's crunchy. That's the
It's
thing about we need to have a
crunchy.
food scientist on here. It's about the crunch, flavor profile. You could get the butter and what is it? Chips and
No, there is
powdered
no world
alright,
that I'm
whatever.
eating sweet
I'm in the right.
pickles, dill or nothing.
Okay. Dill or die, she says.
Dill
Dill
or die.
dill or die. Yeah, I
Yes.
really like popcorn also, and if you
Mhm.
don't know this food hack about popcorn, like the lesser evil popcorn that's so good? Okay, if you put popcorn in the freezer,
Ooh,
it tastes better. It, like, actually
really?
makes oh my god, I'm salivating. Um, when the temperature drops, the flavor pops, okay? That was the slogan of this popcorn guy in the Hillcrest Farmers Market who had the best popcorn ever
Wow.
because he would season his popcorn, which I do, and everyone listening to this podcast should season it, and then you put it in the freezer, and it would, like, preserve the taste.
Wow. Life
Yeah,
hack that I didn't
yeah,
know I needed, but now I wanna try it.
yeah. Protein bars are also not a good thing to, like, have around and snack on because 'cause they're basically, like,
Mm,
half of a meal replacement or a meal replacement. So, like, it's just not as much bang for your buck, and there
yeah.
isn't any crunch in it either. So you're not
Yeah.
getting that.
They're basically a candy bar that's masked as a protein bar.
Yeah.
I wanna say a couple other yummy treats that I love when I'm high is the
Let me ask
wild
you.
chicken chips. They're like made chips made out of chicken breast, and they have all different flavors. I love the buffalo. I also love the Catalina Crunch cereal or Magic Spoon. They have a couple different options. So tasty.
Catalina Crunch just came out with a granola as well.
Ooh, I'll have to
We
find
like
that.
Catalina Crunch because it's notorious for being very high fiber, and you
I
get it
love
in
that.
Costco.
So, on to our third part, which is our environment and habits. So, the first one is going to be break the loop. And what that means is if you always get lit and you sit in the same spot and you grab your same uncontrolled treat, switch things up. Your brain will start linking things together, which becomes your natural pattern. Never let them know your next move or something. Get lit and maybe go for a walk or get lit and call a friend. I know you and I have sat on a FaceTime for like 2 hours while we smoked weed one time, and it's the best.
Yeah, and I don't even think we snacked. I think we were just yapping.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
chat.
I do think it comes down to stimulus too, right? Like you're looking for a stimulus. And again, going back to the coming home from work example, like you're going to still walk through your same door, but it's what you do after. So if usually what you do is you put your things, you walk through the door and you put your things down in the kitchen or you go to the kitchen, go somewhere else. Instead, go up to your bedroom, wash your face, put your PJs on, comfort yourself, act like physically comfort yourself, and then proceed to the kitchen. I think that little change in intentionality can be the make or break as well. And a get real audit. In last week's episode, we talked about a weekly scorecard. So this is your opportunity to try it. If you know you're going to get high, make sure you've checked all your boxes first. Like, have you come close to your protein goal for that day? Did you get your steps in? Was it enough steps? Did you train 3 to 4 times this week, or are you on track to do so? Were your calories mostly locked in, or are you coming home and munching because you had a really bad munchie earlier? We don't want to perpetuate the cycle. So, this answers the question, am I really just hungry or are these actual munchies? Because it's okay. Sometimes we want a sweet treat every day,
Every day.
every single day. But as long as you're hitting your marks, because that is what you do consistently will become routine and will feel natural when it happens. So if you keep finding yourself in the same routine, it's because you trained yourself to do so and you can train yourself out of it.
Exactly. You're
Mhm.
in control of your own destiny.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the last one of this our smart tips is my personal trick.
Ooh.
If I have a good dinner and I feel full, like last night I had a cheeseburger with a bun, I had some veggies, I had some delicata squash, some sweet
Oh,
potato, and a piece of toast. So that's plenty of food. So what I will do in this situation is I'll go brush my teeth. So that signals that I'm done for the evening. Plus, I'm too lazy to brush my teeth a second time. So I'm creating distance between me and another meal or treat.
yeah. That's another way to just, like, break the cycle. That's such a great and everyone has those things, right? We get into these routines because they're comfy. As modern Americans, we're so comfy in our routines because everything's very easy. And I think snacking can be that way. Like I was thinking about this the other day when I was high. I was like, man, if I was a caveman, I would not hack it. Like, where am I gonna get crunchy cereal when I'm a caveman? I can't fucking do this.
Where are
I
you
mean,
gonna get gluten-free bread if you're a caveman?
but really, like, you think about our food choices now, everything's just so accessible, and so it's not your fault if you've been stuck in the Oreo cabinet for days and days and days, but know that you can break that cycle, and sure, it's gonna take a little extra self-accountability and audit, maybe telling someone else about it,
And
but
I
you can do
think
it.
also it takes a level of discomfort that you put yourself in, right?
Yeah,
Like if you have gotten to a place where you're not happy with your weight or you're not comfortable with your habits in any way or your professional life, like you have to be so uncomfortable that you're willing to make the change. Like I ate so many packs of Oreos that I was like these are not allowed in my house ever again. Like I'm
yeah.
done.
And I will comment on that too, because I am not the coach that's ever going to tell you that you can't have something in your house. If I'm telling you that, I'm not doing my job as your coach. My job is to teach you how to be around those foods and confident in yourself and confident in your choices. And I think that when we just demonize foods and just eliminate foods for no reason, we don't understand the nuance. It just makes life feel a little bit harder to dismiss these cravings once you're around them. And I don't know, I want you to live your best life and your healthiest life. And you can have both with cheeseburgers in your diet, right, Kelsey? And
See?
with a sweet treat every single day. And I'll die
That's
on
right.
that hill.
That's right. That's right. Just maybe if you're not capable of limiting it to 3 Oreos, maybe you just only
Yeah.
have those at select moments in your
Yeah,
life.
get your cute little ramekin out. And so here we are to answer the real question. Can you be fit and still smoke weed? Yes. Can you be fit and still have a sweet treat every day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. You could absolutely be fit, strong, and still enjoy a little gardening or a little sweet treat.
I mean, look at you. You're shredded. How often do you smoke weed?
Pretty much every day.
Yeah. I probably smoke Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. So, like, frequently.
Yeah,
And, I just got my DEXA done and I'm 20%. I feel pretty good about that.
I did one today as well.
What'd you
Good for you.
get? What was your score?
You know what I don't like about my DEXA scan that I really appreciated about reading in bodies more often is
What's
that it
that?
doesn't like show you your skeletal muscle mass.
Mm,
It just shows you lean mass and bone density.
okay.
Anyway, it was 16.2.
Dang, girl, you shredded.
And a quick note on scanners, like just choose the same one and do the same one every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be bouncing from DEXA to InBody because it doesn't work. So anyway,
Right, they're calibrated differently.
yeah,
So,
yes,
we digress.
different technology.
Um, at the end of the day, it's all about awareness. So, for some people, THC can actually help with recovery, relaxation, pain management, and sleep. Like, I smoke a lot because it helps me sleep, all of which matter for fitness. The key is intention. If you're using it in a way that supports your lifestyle, great. If it starts if it's starting to affect your habits, like you're skipping workouts or you're constantly overeating, then it's worth checking in with yourself.
And also, if you're noticing that your relationship to food is getting skewed, I don't use the term like disordered eating lightly, and which is also a quick little
A little
special
teaser.
guest, a little teaser. We have a little special guest coming on next week to talk about that with us. But I do think that if you notice your relationship to food or you're starting to cut foods out, that's starting to happen, or you're starting to judge other people's food choices and things like that, that's also like worth checking in. So, it's not an all or nothing game. We know that it's a balance game. You know that it is too. And we just want to avoid the kind of uncontrolled, not intentional overeating and that lack of self awareness in favor of intentional, methodical action that we know could support your goals.
So, to wrap it up, the munchies are biology, not a lack of discipline. You can plan for them, work with them, and still crush your goals.
But if you do go off the rails one night, that doesn't erase your progress. One night of snacks doesn't undo months of consistency, but you have to also put in the months of consistency. The goal is awareness, not perfection.
So, the next time you're high and everything in your pantry looks appealing, remember you're in charge of the munchies, not the other way around. And maybe don't keep the Oreos readily available.
Just wait till someone gives them to you. And
Exactly.
from your official Munchie Shamans, if this episode set you up for your next Liddy session or commute home from work, send it to your bestie who needs to hear this. And as always, connect with us on Instagram at overt_thinking, at Brianna Lamb, and at Kelsey Michelle. And we will see you in
In
the
the next
next
episode.
episode.